Reservation for 2, Friday night? Yes, I have you down for Kitchen Rush, how to play. Tonight I will be teaching you Kitchen Rush, how to play. So, welcome to Conquering Boredom. I am your host, Marcus Howe, and we do a lot of board game reviews and how to plays here on this channel. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, then please consider subscribing. But in the meantime, grab your knife and let's get dicing. Kitchen Rush is a game where you'll be taking on the roles of the kitchen staff in order to run and manage the kitchen. You'll be doing everything from taking orders to seating customers and preparing their dishes and serving them. Now, Kitchen Rush is played over the course of 4 rounds. During each round, new orders will come in. You'll then prepare and serve dishes to customers. Now, after the end of round 4, you'll check the objective to see whether or not all objective requirements have been met in order to win the game. Now, each round consists of 3 different phases. First, you have the preparation phase, then you'll have the action phase, and finally, the cleanup phase. During the preparation phase, first you'll move the round tracker up 1. Now, you'll skip this on the first round. Now, if you are playing with event cards, you'll now flip over the top event card and apply its effects now. Next, apply any other effects that happen before the player's turn. Finally, the last step of the preparation phase is to discuss and plan for the upcoming action phase. Now, this is a good time to plan who is going to be responsible for what ingredients or upgrades you may need, and finally, what you may need to accomplish during this next round. Once the preparation phase is over, you'll move on to the action phase. Now, the action phase is played in real time. Now, once all players are ready to begin the action phase, go ahead and start the timer. Once the timer starts, actions can now be taken. Once the timer has started, players can now take actions. Players will perform actions with their hourglasses. In order to take an action, a player will flip their hourglass and place it in an action slot. Now, when you do this, immediately take that action, and you cannot move that hourglass until all of the sand finishes running. Now, during the action phase, you may only use your hourglasses or the helper hourglasses. Also, you may only take an action if the action slot is available. So, action slots that are already occupied or have a token covering them are no longer available. Also, you may not move anyone else's hourglasses. Now, as soon as you move an hourglass to an action slot, all previous actions are considered to be complete. So this means that you cannot move to a new action slot and go back and continue what you were doing previously. This comes in play particularly with the storage areas. You may, however, if one of your hourglasses or the helper hourglasses has finished its working cycle, remove it from an action slot and place it in front of you for free. Now, if at some point you drop an hourglass, you must immediately stop what you're doing and pick it up and set it back into the right place before you can continue taking actions. Now finally, when that 4-minute digital timer ends, you must immediately stop performing any more actions, so you cannot place any more hourglasses out. However, if you've already placed an hourglass out before the timer ends, you may finish that particular action, and then the round will be over. Next, we'll take a look at all of the different stations and what actions you can take at each. First, we'll take a look at the Maitre d'. When you go to the Maitre d' action slot, you can perform one of the following actions. First, bring in new orders. Now, you can draw up to 2 new orders and place them face up in any available order slot. Now, for certain events or effects may affect how many orders you may draw, but for each order that you draw and place face up on the board, grab a coin and place it into the office area. Now just keep in mind, you may only reveal new orders up to the number of available order slots. Second, you can replace orders. in which case you'll take 2 orders, or up to 2 orders, that are face up in order slots, discard them, and replace them with 2 new orders. Now, this does not grant you any new coins, it just allows you to clear out some old orders and suggest something new. Next, we have the waiter action slot. Now, when you take the waiter action slot, you can perform one of the following actions. First, you can take an order. When you take an order, you'll take one of the available orders that are face up and place it in front of you. Next, you'll take the plate that is associated with that dish, and sometimes there are 2 dishes on that particular order. You'll take both plates and place them on your player mat in the first row, that is with the pot with the 0 on it. Now, if the plate that you need is not available, you can choose to use a plate that is 1 size higher without any penalty. Now, if a plate is still not available, then you can still take the order and place it in front of you, and later on, when that plate becomes available, you can then take it from the clean plates area without any penalty or having to take another action. Now, the second action you can take is to serve a dish promptly. Now, all dishes will be served during the cleanup phase that have been prepared. However, if you want to serve a dish early and earn a little extra tip, you can serve it promptly, in which case you'll take that dish and turn it sideways. Now, once this is done, you'll take a coin and add it to the office area. However, any additional changes cannot be made to that dish, so no more ingredients, spices, or cooking can happen after this point. So just be sure that that dish is fully prepared before you serve it. Next is the shopping action slot. Now, this action slot can be occupied by any number of hourglasses. When performing the shopping action, you'll take 1 coin, remove it from the office area, and choose one of the following. 1. Get 5 ingredients of a single type and add them to any open storage area. Now, they must all be the same ingredient. However, you can add them to any unlocked storage area, so in any combination that you like. Second, get 3 common spices. Those are the white, green, and black spices. Now, you can get these in any combination that you like. When you've chosen the 3 that you want, place them in the cloth bag. And 3, you can get 2 of the special spices. Those are the yellow and red ones. You can get them in any combination that you like, and once you've chosen, place them in the cloth bag. Now, just keep in mind that you cannot add any ingredients into any locked storage areas. Also, in the rare case that when you go shopping and there are not enough ingredients for you to fully get the benefit that you chose, take as many as you can, but you cannot substitute any others. The supplier just doesn't have enough, so you are limited to the ingredients or spices that are in the game. Next, we have the storage areas. Now, there's 3 different storage areas, and you can only use the storage areas if they are unlocked. Now, you place a hourglass in the storage area, and you can take any amount of ingredients you want from that particular storage area. You cannot mix and match different storage areas, only from the one that you currently place the hourglass in. Now, you can take as many ingredients as you want for any number of plates. So go ahead and take any ingredients that you want and place them on any plates that are in the first row of your player mat. Now, once a dish has started cooking, you cannot add any more ingredients to it. So just keep that in mind. Now, once you take an action outside of the storage area, you are considered no longer in the storage area. So you cannot come back, and you must use another hourglass in order to take that action again and continue pulling more ingredients out. Now, however, if you remain in there and don't place any other hourglasses in any other areas, then you continue taking that action even if the sand runs out. Now, if there are not enough ingredients in that storage area and you go there and take what ingredients you can, and then another player goes shopping and adds more ingredients into that storage area, you can then take those new ingredients without any penalty. Next, we have the oven action slots. Now, whenever you go to the oven action slot, you'll take one of the plates on your player mat and move it downward 1 row. This signifies that you are cooking the dish. Now, you may only move one plate for every time you go use the oven action slot. So, even if the order has 2 different dishes on it, you can only move one of those dishes downward one time. Now, you must continue moving those dishes down to the appropriate level in order to fully cook the dish. Now, each order will signify how many times that dish must be cooked. So if there's a pot with a 2 on it, it must be cooked 2 times. So you'll have to take the oven action twice. Once to cook it once, and the second action to cook it that second time. Now just keep in mind, whenever you start cooking a dish, no more ingredients can be added to it. Next, we have the spices area. Now, when you take the spices action, you can take any number of spices you want from the cloth bag and place them on any number of plates that you want. Now, you don't have to spice one dish, you can spice as many as you want. However, you cannot take spices without putting them on a dish. Now, even if the sand runs out, you can continue taking that spicing action and continue spicing different dishes. However, once you take a different action, you are considered to be out of the spices and you'll have to use another hourglass to spice more dishes. Also, just like the storage areas, if a spice is not available when you first go in there and someone purchases more spices and then throws them into the bag, you can take them normally without any penalty. Just keep in mind, you are allowed at any time to look inside of the cloth bag to see what spices are actually there before you head over to the spice area. So, contrary to how ingredients work, you are allowed to spice a dish before, during, or after it has been cooked. Next, we have the office area. Now, whenever you take the office action slot, you can perform one of the following actions. First, hire back unpaid workers. Now, you'll get unpaid workers if you're not unable to pay them during the cleanup phase, and we'll cover that a little bit later. But what you'll do is you'll go to the office space, spend 2 coins, take one of the unpaid workers, flip it over anywhere in the office. Now, once that sand runs out, that worker is now ready to be used once again. Second, you can upgrade your kitchen. Now, when you go to the action slot, spend the number of coins equal to one of the face-up upgrade cards and take it and remove it from the game. Now, the upgrades include anywhere from opening new oven spaces, opening new storage areas with ingredients in it, hiring a new helper to help you, or buying new plates. Now, once you buy one of those upgrades, remove it from the pile and flip over a new upgrade card to take its place. Now, the third action you can take is to repair equipment. Now, certain events will place malfunction tokens on action slots over the board. Now, just pay the number of coins on the malfunction token to remove it from the board to make that slot available once again. The next action slot is the sink. Now, whenever you go to the sink, you can clean up to 3 dirty dishes. Take any 3 dishes that are in the dirty dish area and place them into the clean dish area. The last stage we'll move on to is the cleanup phase. In the cleanup phase, there are 3 things that you'll need to check. First, you'll need to check orders. Second, you'll need to pay wages. And finally, you'll check for any prestige bonuses. Now, in order to check an order, you'll need to check these things for every order that you've prepared over the action phase. Does the order have the correct plate size, either the plate size listed or one size above? Next, are all of the required ingredients added to the plate and no more? Are all of the required spices added to the plate and no more? Next, has the dish been cooked the number of times required and no more and no less? And finally, have all of the dishes for that order been prepared? If all of these are complete, then you get the reward listed at the bottom of the order. Add the number of coins to the office area, move the prestige tracker to the right, the number of stars shown on the card, take the dish and discard all of the ingredients and spices, place them off of the game board, not in any of the storage areas, and then place the plate in the dirty dish area. Now, if an order was not completed, then the customers have been kept waiting and you'll lose prestige. For every order that is uncompleted, you'll move the prestige tracker to the left 1 space. Then you'll check for each dish to see whether or not additional actions can complete the dish, or if there has been a mistake made for that dish. Now, if a dish can be completed with further actions, then that dish will remain on your player mat and it can be completed in future rounds. However, if a mistake was made, for example, a dish was cooked 1 too many times, or cooked and not enough ingredients on it, or too many ingredients added, then there was a mistake made and that whole dish will need to be discarded and made anew. So go ahead and discard all of the ingredients on it, place the dish in the dirty dish area, and you'll have to start over from scratch during the next round. Now, for orders that have 2 different plates on them, if one of the plates was prepared correctly or can still be completed with further actions, that one can remain on your player mat, but the one that had the mistake must be discarded and only that one will need to be restarted. Now finally, if an order was not made correctly but was still served promptly during the action phase, then you'll lose 1 additional prestige point because you served a customer the incorrect dish, or a dish that was not prepared properly. And so move the prestige tracker to the left 1 more space. Now, once all dishes have been checked, you'll need to pay your wages. So for every worker or hourglass used in the action phase, you'll need to pay 3 coins for. Now, if you don't have enough coins to pay for all of your hourglasses, then pay for as many as you can, starting with the helpers. Now, any unpaid hourglasses will be laid down next to the office area, and you'll lose 1 prestige point for each. Now, these unpaid hourglasses are unavailable for the rest of the game until you either use the office action space to rehire them or pay their wages in one of the future cleanup phases. Now, just keep in mind that paying wages is not optional. So in a future round, if you have unpaid workers or hourglasses still, those wages will need to be paid in future rounds if at all possible. The last part of the cleanup phase is the prestige bonuses. Now, depending on how far you moved up or down will affect what prestige bonuses you get. Now, there are certain cards on the prestige track with 2, 3, or 4 chef hats. Each one has a different color, but they'll be the same for the number of chefs. Now, whenever you cross one of these, depending on the number of players, so if you cross playing with 3 players and you cross one of the 3 chef hats, then you'll get a new prestige card, and these prestige cards will have bonuses or perhaps some obligations. And so whenever you cross one of these, you'll flip over a new card and place it in one of the open prestige slots. Now, if you cross over more than one of these, you'll flip over that many prestige bonuses and place them in open slots. Now, if you lose prestige past one of these cards, then you'll take the latest prestige bonus that you got, turn it face down, and place it on the top of the prestige deck. You'll get that one back later once you earn more prestige. Now, at the end of the 4th round, the game ends. Count up all of the orders that you've fulfilled, all of the money you have left, and take note of where you are on the prestige track. Now, to win the game, you must meet all of the requirements on your objective card and must meet all of the requirements listed here. First, you must have no unpaid hourglasses. Second, you must have at least 1 coin. And third, you must have at least 1 prestige. If all of these requirements are met and your objectives are fulfilled, then congratulations, you have won the game. Now, if you want to play a slightly more challenging game, then you can play with events. Now, in order to play with events, at the start of each round, draw a random event card and apply its effects. Now, each one of these events will stack over the course of the game, so by the end you'll have 4 different events that you have to deal with or manage. So as long as they are still affecting you, then they'll remain in play. Now, since all of these event cards are negative, it will result in a much higher challenge for the game. Now, that is everything that you need to know in order to play Kitchen Rush. There! Now I've taught you how to play Kitchen Rush. Now I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because we'll be releasing a lot more videos like this one, as well as our playthroughs and reviews. Now, if you would like to buy this game, then look for a link in the description below. Also, we would love to hear from you. So, question of the day, what is your favorite dish to prepare? Let us know in the comment section below, as well as if there's any particular games you would like us to play or review here on this channel. And remember, until next time, good luck conquering. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. There! It's lopsided. Parents here at ConqueringBoardom.